Hello, and as promised, we have day one of the Warhammer World Championships. So this is gonna be a one video, but I'm gonna like split it into two parts. So stay tuned for the second half of it, because in the first half, I'm gonna show you my preparations for day one, like how I actually prepare for the hazards of the World Championships of Warhammer. And then in the step two of the video, it's gonna be the same video, but I'm just gonna have like the first 8 minutes, second 8 minutes. I'll be going over my results for the day. So I'm filming this in the morning right now. I'll film that obviously after the day, and I'll kind of like talk to you about how the day went, if my predictions were correct about how I should deploy, what I did wrong, if I did anything wrong, and how well it went right if it did go in fact go right. So I actually have fairly high expectations for day one. There are, if you run into the best player in the world, it is what it is. Occasionally things can happen, but overall, the first two missions actually suit me very, very well. Because the first two missions, they're both going to be played on GW8, which I would argue is, if it's not my best map, it's really close to my best map. And it's the first one's gonna be Purge the Foe and Hammer and Anvil, and it's not like I have a lot of units, so I do enjoy Purge the Foe. And then mission two is gonna be Tipping Point, Linchpin, also on Hammer and Anvil. So I'm just gonna show you guys like how I would prep for this. Um, so just real quickly, my list is available on BCP for the World Championships for Warhammer. I'm not really going to go too in depth about how the list works right now. I'll do that as a dedicated video at the end of the week. So you guys will probably have that next week. So if you guys like the results, then enjoy. But basically, we have two squads of Deathwing Knights. One is led by an Ancient and Terminator armor who has the turn one deep strike. I have one Impulsor, one Lancer, which is going to be a head scratch for a lot of people, but it does make sense. I've got a Callous Assassin because she is goaded. Lieutenant with combi weapon, the Lion, Azrael with his 6 Inner Circle companions, 3 Plasma Inceptors, 1 squad of Deso Marines, and then 1 squad of Scouts. So no trash, practically no trash, which does make me a little bit nervous, but it is what it is. So basically, when I look at this map, I see a couple spots. I see this objective, which I can hold with Deathwing Knights or Inner Circle companions, and they can basically just touch the ruin. Because I have the stratagem Leonine Aggression, I should be able to cover practically the entire objective. And so there is going to be one sliver that my opponent will be able to touch. But since I'm going to have my OC2 unit here, then there's no way he's going to be able to touch and deny me this objective. Or I might have my Inner Circle companions standing right here who are also OC2. So I should be able to touch it without him being able to deny me, because there's no way he's going to be able to touch with enough OC in this small sliver here to deny me the objective. And if he touches any closer, then I'll get to charge him at the end of his charge phase, which is a very, 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 very nice thing. So basically, I'm going to play here. He's not going to be able to deny me this. If he does want to charge me on this objective to take me off it, I will Rapid Ingress to the Lion and ruin any charge hopes that he may have had. And then over here, this is actually a very, very sweet pocket where I can actually just deep strike turn one on my opponent's natural expansion. So if I go first and my opponent doesn't block this, then I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to literally put my unit on his objective, and he won't be able to shoot me unless he goes past this little red line that I've drawn. Here, let me turn this off so it can make it easier for you guys to see. And I'm going to just start the game with 10 OC here. If he tries to touch right here, I get to charge him, and he can't because it's engagement range anyway. Which means he's going to have to bring his entire army past this point just to shoot my Deathwing Knights, who will be in AOC and in cover, and expose themselves to my Lancer and my units that are staging here to charge on in. So it's going to be a massive amount of pressure on my opponent turn one that they're going to really struggle to deal with. Now, I know a lot of people, when they play missions like Purge the Foe, what they do is they say, oh, I can't like lose my models turn one. Oh no, they'll kill my models and they'll score points. Guys, it's Warhammer 40,000. You're going to lose your models. Like, I mean, if you play the game as if you're afraid to lose your models, you're not going to do very well. It's going to destroy your entire game plan. So when I approach games like Purge the Foe, I don't intentionally lose my models, and I do try to keep them safe. But if my game plan is to shove my models in your face, I still have to shove my models in your face. Otherwise, you're not going to be doing your game plan, and your opponent is going to, walk all over you. So you still have to play your game plan, and that's a very, very big deal. So Purge the Foe, GW8, this is basically the ideal scenario. Now, the cool thing about it is, if we switch it to Tipping Point for Linchpin, here, sorry guys, if for a camera, it's going to make you sick for a second. All right, Tipping Point, now we're back on the same. We're basically going to do the exact same thing. The only difference being, I could just put all my ICC right here. And this actually just makes it even easier for my ICC to hold the objective. A lot of people think that oh, it's okay, you just charge the ICC and kill them. But you don't. I mean, these guys are -1 to be hit. They're -1 to be wounded. They have a 4-up invulnerable save. And then they'll just slaughter you on the clapback. So I could literally just stand right here, not be shot. I mean, there might be a little line here. So if I just draw this line. Sorry, 2 seconds. So if I just draw this line. Yeah, so there is it's basically the easiest thing in the world to avoid. You just hang out right here, not on that line. He won't be able to shoot you. And then this is just now my objective. And there's basically nothing your opponent can do about it. Meanwhile, I'm just going to do the exact same thing with the Deathwing Knights. I'm going to pop them right here. And if my opponent wants to hold theirs, then I'm just going to go take their natural expansion, which forces them to come into the middle where my other Deathwing Knights will presumably be waiting to advance and charge into. So this is basically how I'm going to play these matchups. I'm just going to be like, cool, I'm going to dominate everything here. I'm going to deny your natural expansion, and then you're going to have to come in the center or try to take my natural expansion. But my army is the best army in the game at defending a natural expansion, so you're not going to be able to do it. So this is more or less what I'm going to do on both of these maps, basically regardless of who I play. This is probably the best map for me, to be honest with you. So it's really fun that it's day one. So if I get the hard guys in the pod, ideally I would get them today because I think this is where I got the best chance against like John Lennon and Nemo. But we will see how it goes. Wish me luck, and then through the magic of video editing, I'll be back in like 27 seconds for you talking about the results and how it went. So I guess see you in 27 seconds. Bye. All right, and so I'm back, and end of the day. Very happy to announce that my plan was correct and the army does work as intended based off of how it goes. So this is really nice because I had 2 experiences on GW8. So the plan, everything went more or less according to plan. I had one game where I went first, where I got to do my turn 1 deep strikes, my turn 1 rapid ingress with the lion, and then I had one game where I went second, where I did not get the advantages of the army, but I was still blessed to enjoy the benefits of just going second, which generally works. So in game 1, I played against the Death Guard from Mr. Sam. I'm gonna have to forgive me; his last name escapes me at the moment. I got a really cool dice from him. Super nice guy, and he was running a pretty solid Virulent Vectorum list. And I did get to drop my infiltrators first, and I did the turn 1 deep strikes exactly like I said I would with that big 5-man Deathwing Knights led by the Ancient Terminator armor. At that point in time, he pretty much just had to abandon ever trying to hold his home field because there's no way he could go and get it from the Deathwing Knights. And that caused really, really big problems for him because he couldn't assail my natural expansion either because that was going to be defended by the Inner Circle Companions. So there's really no way for him to get anywhere but the center objective. So what he did, he realized the horrible position he was in, and I think it was about turn 2, he decided he could slow play the game and he could end up losing by 5 points in the end, or he could put it all on the line. If he had a really good go turn, he could snatch the win from the grasp of defeat. It was the correct decision. It didn't work out for him. He was able to kill the lion, but he wasn't able to do some of the other things he had to do in that turn. And so I was able to get a pretty good win of 89 to 43. But when we spoke about it towards the end of the game, when we were wrapping up, we both agreed. I actually completely agree with the way he played it. He put his balls on the table. I mean, he put his full Plague Marine squad out in the middle because he had to kill the lion. He charged into my Inner Circle Companions with his Deathshroud Terminators. The problem with that charge was I was able to do a heroic intervention with my Combi Lieutenant, which forced all of his Deathshroud to actually pile into the Combi Lieutenant because he didn't get good enough charge for them to all be within engagement range of the ICC. So basically, only his Lord of Contagion charged the ICC, and the 3 Deathshroud Terminators had to charge in and just kill my Combi Lieutenant. So that heroic intervention, remember, heroic intervention is about the strongest freaking strat in the game. Saved my butt, and it basically made the entire game go my way. Had I not had the Combi Lieutenant there to heroic intervene, actually, he probably would have wiped my squad, and I would have been completely screwed. So super big. So, and then in round 2, I went second against Star Shadow Necrons from a guy named Mr. Fritz. So Fritz is a German player, potentially the nicest man I have experienced in Warhammer 40,000. I cannot tell you how pleasant this game was. He actually taught me a bit about his army, which I didn't understand. So I really appreciate him for teaching me some of the finer points of the Necrons. A very close game. I won 67 to 61. I will tell you, my army is much more nerve-wracking when I go second. I vastly prefer to go first with the way that this army is designed. Previously, Star Shatter would have wiped the floor with this army when the Silent King had the Ignore Modifiers aura. Without the Ignore Modifiers aura, the -1 to wound, the -1 damage on the Deathwing Knights, it's such a big deal against Necrons. You can't ignore my modifiers. You can't ignore my Armor of Contempt anymore. So now I do like the Dark Angels into the Star Shatter, whereas previously it would have been a death sentence. So it was still a very close game. Fritz played an amazing match. Thoroughly had an absolute blast playing him. I'm really grateful for the experience. But yeah, guys, so we are 2-0 at the end of round one, which is great because last year we were 1-1 at this time. So this is an improvement, at least from the opening day. Going into and Fritz was like I say I go into the Sharks now, but like looking at Fritz's ELO, that dude plays Warhammer, and like listen, both he and Sam just played correctly. So I'm actually really intimidated by the guys I might face tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to it. So great day one. Mr. Schetzel, if you guys wanted to know, he's also 2-0. He's crushing it. So actually, all the guys from Norway who flew over are really representing very well, and I'm super proud of all of them. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to show you how I prepare for the game, the matches on day 2. And just real quick, what are those matches? It's going to be on layout GW2, which is cool. We're going to play Mission O, which is Terraform Crucible of Battle on GW2. And then the second game tomorrow will be Mission D, which is going to be Scorched Earth and Tipping Point on layout 2. Both of those layouts I actually like a lot as the Dark Angels. So I'll be back with how I actually prep for those, and then we'll do like a review for you as well of how the day went to see if the predictions were correct. All right, guys. So have an amazing freaking day, and mad blessings. Bye-bye. Happy Crump on.